Hello viewers, welcome to National Focus. I'm your presenter Tarnia Green. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Among the major developments, Labour Party hold successful delegates conference in St. Joseph. Regional pollster advised dual citizenship laws to be changed in Dominica, and local supermarkets on a campaign to encourage the use of biodegradable shopping bags. We'll bring you the details of these and other stories when National Focus returns. Stay with us.
Hello, I am Bishop Gabriel Malzer, Bishop of Roseau, and I am Dominica. Are you?
Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Over 600 Labour Party delegates from all 21 constituencies converged on St. Joseph on Sunday for the Dominica Labour Party's Delegates Conference, in keeping with the DLP's observance of its 57th anniversary on May 24. Delegates heard addresses from party leader and Prime Minister Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit, as well as a number of government ministers who reported on their stewardship over the past year. The DLP delegates also deliberated on a number of resolutions which were put forward for their consideration at the conference. General Secretary of the Dominica Labour Party, Edward Regist, told GIS News on Monday that a national executive to serve the Dominica Labour Party was elected with no significant changes made.
At the elections, there were no major changes at the helm of the party. We basically had some of the positions replaced. We saw that Mr. Ian Monroe replaced Felix Thomas as the Assistant General Secretary of the party. We also saw that Mr. Alvin Bernard replaced Senator Charles Savran as the International Secretary of the party. Sonia Williams replaced Vina Roye as the National Women's Coordinator, and Ian Douglas replaced Sonia Williams as the Education Officer. Those were the changes that were made after the elections, and we believe that it was quite a successful conference.
In more news, political leader of the Dominican Labour Party, Prime Minister Honourable Roosevelt Skerrit, has called on supporters of the Dominican Labour Party to lay a foundation which will take the party into another 25 years in office. The Prime Minister was at the time addressing the delegates' conference of the ruling Dominican Labour Party in St. Joseph on Sunday. Honourable Skerrit says though the party has a strong footing in Dominica following its victory at the 2009 polls, this should not be taken for granted.
I am not taking anything for granted as it relates to the right of the electorate of this country to judge us harshly and on merit next time around. I am also acutely aware of the prognosis for several other ruling parties across the region, and I do not intend to make the mistakes that others did. Please do not get me wrong. I am by no means running scared. Here in Dominica, we are fortunate to have knocked the opposition parties clean out of the ballpark in the last general election. And it will take them a lot for them to recover. But I am also aware that a day in politics is a long time, far less 5 years. So I am not taking anything for granted.
The DLP political leader encouraged his team of DLP parliamentarians to do more in their individual constituencies.
A PAL rep can only do so much in a given week, a month. Most PAL reps are also ministers of government, and that in itself is a full-time job. I want to see greater Labour Party representation on the ground in the various communities and constituencies across Dominica.
The DLP leader also encouraged parliamentarians to desist from becoming complacent and work towards greater advancement of their constituencies and, by extension, the country.
The Labour Party has been good to this country, and this country has been good to Labour. But we can do better. We must do better. We have to do better. I want us to do more. Our goal must not just be to outperform the other parties. I want us to set new benchmarks for political parties in Dominica and across the Caribbean.
The political leader of the DLP told delegates that efforts will be made to transform the party into the most progressive 21st century political organization in the region. In more news, regional pollster Barbadian Peter Wickham, in speaking from a perspective of a political scientist, wants the Dominica government to focus on programs which will further enhance governance. Wickham was the featured speaker at the delegates' conference of the governing Dominica Labour Party on Sunday in St. Joseph. Wickham replaced former Barbadian Prime Minister Owen Arthur, who, according to Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, cancelled at the last minute for personal reasons. Wickham told the delegates' conference that enhancing a governance program is not an admission that anything is wrong, but rather it's an admission that there is always room for improvement.
I'm aware of your manifestos and believe that you have made progress in relation to achieving those goals. I believe your performance in the last election was such that you can attempt now to pursue a mission that may very well be outside of the initial plan, but is no less necessary. I'm particularly keen on a program to enhance governance, not just because it's a buzzword in global politics today, but because governance is necessary and governance is cheap. And also because it seems as though this party is doing fairly well in relation to infrastructural developments already.
Wickham said the Dominica Labour Party, which has been able to acquire considerable political capital following the 2009 general election, is in fact in a comfortable position to deal with its governance issues and should not have to look over its shoulders. Wickham, in referring to the recent dual citizenship issue involving Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and Honorable Peter St. Jean, is suggesting that Dominica's antiquated dual citizenship laws be changed.
I worry that we are afraid to delete from our constitutions a provision that would allow Dominicans holding dual citizenship to hold office. And I know this is a particularly controversial issue, and I want to make it abundantly clear that I'm not making a statement on behalf of anyone. I'm not attempting to throw stones at your constitution because my constitution says the same thing too. The difference in Barbados is that that provision is observed more in the breach than anything else, because we have had several members of parliament and the Prime Minister that held dual citizenship. It's not an issue for anyone. The reality, however, is that I do not think that these types of laws have any place in a modern constitution in the Caribbean, and a constitution that appreciates the reality of life where there are several people that find themselves in these situations through no fault of their own, or alternatively through fault of their own, but with very good reason. And I think this is a reality that we in the Caribbean have to begin to deal with and look at making changes in this way.
Wickham also shared his thoughts on transparency and communication. The regional pollster had high praise for the governments of the Dominica Labour Party government and described it as one of the more solid governments existing today in the entire Caribbean region.
To have a government that is relatively harmonious, relatively strong, and able to work towards transforming Dominica socially and economically, and as I have seen already, transforming it infrastructurally. And it's certainly very remarkable for persons like myself who come to Dominica infrequently to notice the major changes that have been made every time we come. And this is all being done at a time when we know that money is extremely scarce. And I think that what money you get your hands on, you're doing very well in relation to spending.
Meanwhile, in a passionate address to the delegates' conference of the Dominica Labour Party in St. Joseph on Sunday, Minister for Education, Honorable Peter St. Jean, spoke of his government's unswerving commitment to empower the people of Dominica through education and other social programs. Honorable St. Jean outlined government's initiatives and investments in the sphere of infrastructural development that have led to the empowerment of the people of Dominica.
Dominicans, your party and your government continue to expand our capital expenditure programs with major projects in hotel and marina development in places like Portsmouth. the redevelopment of our major road networks, as in the case of the Edward Oliver Leblanc Highway, the Petit Soufriere Rosalie Road, construction of state-of-the-art educational institutions, as in the case of the Dominica State College, the continuation and expansion of our social programs, of which we can boast of the Yes We Care program, school feeding program, and bus transportation schemes. And ladies and gentlemen, the squatter regularization and housing programs, all aimed at creating a better standard of living for you, the people of Dominica.
And the parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency, Honorable Kelva Daru, is grateful to the large numbers of constituents who have stood steadfastly behind him as their representative since being elected in 2009. Honorable Daru expressed his profound gratitude when he addressed the DLP's delegates conference on Sunday.
I extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you who have stood along my side. Those of you who have criticized me constructively, I'm very grateful for that. Those of you who have been there at times when it has been very tough and the challenge seems insurmountable, I applaud you for that. Your efforts and your support has gone a long way in ensuring that the Labour Party has significantly improved its majority here in the St. Joseph constituency. And we can all boast that Labour will continue to hold the reins here in St. Joseph as long as you give Labour the opportunity.
Honorable Daru says since being elected in 2009, the Dominican Labour Party has done tremendous work throughout the St. Joseph constituency. The parliamentary representative spoke highly of work done in road construction.
I speak here firstly of the implementation of a branch of the fire and ambulance service here in St. Joseph, which continues to serve the entire West Coast. And I can tell you that since this branch has been here in this community, we've seen tremendous efforts being placed in ensuring that any emergency or accidents which occur here in this community or the West Coast for extension is handled in a quick way. And this is something that has augured well here in this constituency, my dear friends. We've seen $80,000 being spent to construct the Kubawi Road, a road which was in a deplorable state. But this government saw it fit to ensure that the residents of Kubawi in St. Joseph can have a proper road to access their homes. We saw over $100,000 being spent on the Cuba-Cahom Road, a road where we have a number of farmers to access their farms. And this government saw it fit in 2010 to spend these monies to ensure that the farmers' roads here in Cuba and Cahom can be improved.
The parliamentary representative for the St. Joseph constituency also hinted to achievements made in the area of education.
We spent over $50,000 to implement a brand new kitchen at the Bells Primary School because we saw a need to ensure that the children at the Bells Primary School can be able to have a proper meal at school instead of going back home. And over $50,000 was spent to ensure that this kitchen was constructed at the Bells Primary School. Just recently we spent over $65,000 at the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School to have this school totally repainted. This school had been ignored for a number of years by past administrations, and it took this Labour Party administration to put a facelift to the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School. At the St. Joseph Primary School, we spent in excess of $40,000 to renovate the kitchen with brand new cupboards, to ensure that the school feeding program is of a standard where the students from St. Joseph, from Layu, from Mero who attend that school can have a proper meal when it comes to lunchtime. And all this, my dear friends, is in an effort to ensure that our students have less to worry about. They have less to worry about, and all they have to do is focus on learning.
In more news, the government of Dominica has afforded the late Ambassador Charles Alexander Maynard an official funeral to take place on Tuesday, May 22nd, 2012. The government has declared a day of mourning on that day as a mark of respect for the late Ambassador Charles Maynard, former member of the House of Assembly and Dominica's ambassador to CARICOM and the OECS. The Dominican flag will be flown at half-staff on all public buildings in the state on Tuesday. Public viewing of the body shall be from 2 p.m. to 2:55 p.m. at the St. Alphonsus Roman Catholic Church in Goodwill. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the official funeral service will commence at 3 p.m. The late Ambassador Charles Maynard will be laid to rest at the Roseau Roman Catholic Cemetery. And the shoppers at Save-A-Lot, Whitchurch, IGA Supercenter, Wilson Supermarket and Breezy's Mart helped preserve the environment last Saturday when they took their purchases home in biodegradable shopping bags instead of plastic bags. No Plastic Bag Shopping Day was a successful step in a productive direction for the Discover Dominica Authority and the Rotary Club of Dominica. Furthermore, officials of those organizations were on hand to witness the elimination of the use of plastic bags at the participating supermarkets. The Discover Dominica Authority is on a mission to diminish the use of plastics through its 3 R's campaign to reduce, reuse, and recycle as part of Tourism Awareness Month this month. Marvelyn Birmingham, president of the Rotary Club of Dominica, emphasized the long-term benefits of the plastic reduction program.
We will not stop until we have seen that there are less plastic bags being taken out of supermarkets or shops when we go shopping. We are asking people to change a habit that they normally do, you know, that is very hard to break. However, we do have that culture already, in that when we go to the market on a Saturday, the fresh produce market on a Saturday or on a Friday, we always go with a bag or with a basket. We never go, you know, hand swinging to the market. So we're asking people to do the same thing. Take your bag to the supermarket, to the shops when you go to shop, and leave the plastic bags behind, because these bags are polluting our environment, and we want to maintain this environment as pristine as possible, not only for ourselves, for our visitors, and also to ensure that the environment is sustainable for the for the generations to come. These bags are reusable. You can use them for months on end. And what is more, they are biodegradable. That is, they can degrade and become part of the environment. Plastics don't degrade. Plastics become small particles that eventually get into your food stream and your water streams. So we are encouraging, and what is more, research has shown that for every one biodegradable bag that you use, you are saving 700 plastic bags in any given year. So therefore, can you think that each individual saving 700 plastic bags from the landfill in one given year? If you do the math, it's a wide number of bags that we will be removing from our environment. And therefore, that is why we encourage people to use the bags, buy your bags, make them if you have to. Get the baskets that we would normally use when we go into the supermarket, to the market. Use those things instead. Use the craft and that we use, and that we make here as well, and take care of the environment.
According to Samantha Smith of the Discover Dominica Authority, this initiative may become a regular one.
We only did supermarkets within Roseau, but we do plan. We'll probably try to take this campaign every month, go out into the communities and try to encourage persons. We do want to just give them the bags, not just to have the bags at home, don't have them piling up in your cupboards, but use the bags again and again. Go to the supermarkets, you go to the market, you reuse the bags, and therefore this will help in basically reducing the use of plastics.
And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce joins us next with your Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole, non moins c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, les parti Dominique tient une grande conférence délégués à yo en Saint-Jo dimanche. Conférence délégués là, c'était pour mettre exécutif ensemble qui a gouverné parti là pour l'autre l'année là. Monsieur Edward Regis, c'est secrétaire général les parti Dominique.
Nous t'en hord Premier ministre Roosevelt Carrot, nous aussi t'en hord ministre pour affaires tourisme, Mr. Ian Douglas, nous aussi t'en hord Mounla qui était guest speaker nous, Mr. Peter Wickham hord Babad, aussi nous t'en hord président parti Mr. Peter Sejan avec les autres monde, avec eux tout les ont parlé yo parler contre manière c'est par le plat qu'a fait travail avec yo encourager yo pour travailler plus wed pour faire certain qui yo mène satisfaction bah c'est monde là yo ka représenter avec ça c'est bien important avec monde apprécier ça avec nous tenions une élection élection a passé bien nous tenions un des changements executive party nous avons M. Ian Monroe qui a replacé M. Felix Thomas comme qui a assisté General Secretary. Avec aussi nous avons M. Alvin Bernard qui a replacé Sénateur Charles Savin comme International Secretary. Nous aussi avons Mme Sonia Williams qui a replacé Mme Rina Roy comme qui a coordonné les affaires femmes en partie, avec aussi nous Ian Douglas qui a replacé Mme Sonia Williams comme qui a une responsabilité pour l'éducation en partie. Donc ça tout s'est passé bien.
En notre nouvelle, ministère de l'Éducation, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean, que représenté Dominique en grand meeting ministère de l'Éducation qui a en place en Saint-Kitts, Simen Salam. Si l'homme ministre Saint-Jean, bagay ka concerne les affaires d'éducation en Caraïbes qui discutait.
Ministre éducation OICS qui joignent en Saint-Kitts à un grand meeting. En meeting ça là nous qui adressé autant différents problèmes qui ont affecté l'éducation en OICS là. Premièrement, nous qui regardé ça nous a créé early childhood education. Ça c'est ça nous a créé éducation preschool. Puisque ça nous a dit jour de jour les enfants supposés une bonne fondation pour yo faire bien en grande l'école et aussi là yo entrer en l'accolage. Et nous avons adressé à OICS situation ça là il y a les enfants qui pas qu'à attendre preschool.
Sinon honorable Saint-Jean, yo peut aussi mettre mise en place faire tout pays travail en bas on seul par au sol quand concerne examination common entrance.
Un grand pas en agenda là nous qui garder ça nous a créé Caribbean Primary Exit Examination. Vous connaissez que tous les années nous les enfants qui ont écrit ça nous a créé Common Entrance Exams. Et chacun pays en OICS là, ni ont différents examens qui ces enfants ont écrit. Ça nous a dit, il est pour nous ni un examen qui tous ces enfants là en tout pays caribéen là et ça écrit. So, si un enfant quitte Dominique et il allait en Sainte-Lucie, il s'est fait l'examen ça là. So nous que discuter, ça nous a créé Caribbean Primary Exit Examination.
Et puis finalement, le gouvernement Dominique déjà en contact et puis plusieurs gouvernements ont la terre, tapé support pour Dr. Carissa Etienne, tapé position comme chef à Paro. Ministère Santé, Honorable Julius Timothy, ensemble et fait officier médical, ça c'est chef officier médical, Dr. David Johnson, qui a attendu Guamitin Santé, qui a pris place en Geneva, Simen Salam, où d'ailleurs qu'on expecte pour présenter Dr. Etienne, taper en position cela.
Nous déjà parlé avec tout le monde, nous avons parlé avec Alon, nous avons parlé avec Canada, l'Amérique, Mexique, Netherlands, France, tout ça c'est même Paro. Et puis nous déjà parlé avec eux toutes. So nous expectons que le docteur Etienne, qui a une position, mais nous ne pouvons faire travail là. Parce que docteur Etienne, ce n'est pas seulement, c'est pas une position politique. Docteur Etienne, c'est très qualifié pour position ça là.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, Luce. Au revoir.
When we come back, we'll bring you a few upcoming events and government notices. Do stay with us. Time now for a few government notices. The National Parks Unit of the Forestry Division wishes to inform the general public, particularly visitors and tourism stakeholders, that the access to the Emerald Pool will be closed from Monday 21st May to Monday 4th June 2012 in order to facilitate urgent upgrading work at the entrance of the Emerald Pool. However, during the construction period, visitors to the ecotourism site will be allowed to view the Emerald Pool from the first viewpoint on the trail. The Forestry Parks Division sincerely apologizes for any inconveniences caused. All dash-in farmers of Penrice, Bells, Glogommier, Stonehill, Sultan and Wet Area are kindly asked to attend a training session on the commercial production of dash-in on the holding of Brian Alexander at Glogommier on Tuesday 22nd May 2012 at 9:30 in the morning. Officers of the Central Agricultural Region and the Horticulture Coordinator will be in attendance. Please make a special effort to attend and to be on time. The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation is seeking suitably qualified applicants for the post of senior mechanic. The successful applicant will be required to handle servicing, repair, routine maintenance, and care of a variety of vehicles and equipment in the corporation's fleet service. This is a technical and skilled position. The main duties will include the following: ensuring vehicles are roadworthy by repairing and maintaining the vehicles in good and safe working order, test driving vehicles and test components and systems, using equipment such as infrared engine analyzers, compression gauges, and computerized diagnostic devices. Performing routine and scheduled maintenance services such as oil changes, lubrications, and tune-ups. Qualification and personal qualities include: the successful applicant must be a dedicated and highly motivated individual with excellent communication skills with the following: possess a diploma in auto mechanics or a vocational technical diploma in auto repair or relevant field. Knowledge of diesel and gas engines is essential. Must have sound knowledge of electrical hydraulic systems, of vehicle management, at least 5 years working experience in a garage. Must possess a valid Class C driver's license. Computer literate with knowledge of word processing and a spreadsheet. Remuneration, compensation will be commensurate with qualifications and experience. Applications accompanied by detailed curriculum vitae together with 2 references should be forwarded to the Human Resource Officer, post of Senior Mechanic, Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation, P.O. Box 79, Roseau, Dominica. The closing date for the receipt of applications is Friday, 1st June 2012. Only shortlisted applicants will be acknowledged. Up next is your tip of the day. Today we'll share with you a few tips on what you can do to care for your skin. First, it is important that you nourish your skin, feed your skin the vitamins and nutrients it needs by practicing healthy eating habits. Fill your diet with fruits and vegetables that are rich in minerals, vitamins, and omega oils. The best foods for healthy skin are fish, low-fat dairy products, deep green vegetables, and whole grains. Eating iron-rich foods such as apricots and sesame seeds will help improve your skin tone. Another important factor is the need to rest your skin. Give your skin the chance to rest and rejuvenate itself by maintaining healthy sleeping habits. Lack of sleep may reduce otherwise healthy skin's ability to produce collagen, which is a tissue protein vital to youthful skin. Poor sleeping habits can cause dark, saggy bags under the eyes and can lead to lingering rashes and skin irritations. When you don't get enough sleep, you get cranky and your skin is no different. Remember that tired skin is unhappy, unhealthy skin. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments, so please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm, or you could visit our GIS Dominica page on YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm your presenter, Tarnia Green. Thank you so much for watching, and to remember to join us again tomorrow.